All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So I did just cover SOFI, but it's been a crazy few days to say the least, right? So I really talked about this line a lot. It basically has been doji on the line, right? So you know I'm not a candle shape guy, but man, when I see this many dojis, and when I see one doji, a candle that looks like this with a skinny body and some lines up, skinny body lines up, right? It stresses to me the uncertainty going on in SOFI. And, you know, I was really confident in the lines, right? We had the three last lines really tight right here. It's one of the main reasons why I drew that line. And lo and behold, we're basically there and kind of getting ugly down here, right? So SOFI is going to be an interesting one to discuss. Soundhound, man, I was talking to someone on Twitter just before the market closed. But yeah, SOUN is like fighting for its life. There's really no other way of saying it, right? It's on the cusp of losing all the moving averages, unless it did something crazy at the end and I didn't see it. NASDAQ is not recovering as much as I was hoping for. There's no other way of saying that. And look, NASDAQ, you know my thoughts, right? Like NASDAQ carries tech. That actually has a lot to do with SOFI a little bit here. And then ENZC, support. There's nothing else to say. That line that I talked about extensively last time did the job well, all right? So excited to talk about these and more, but before we go any further, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll talk about the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad. Look, anything you can do helps me so much with these YouTube algorithms, especially if you actually share the video. I am not the best at that, all right? So let's get into it. And SOFI, look, I just covered this a bit ago, right? So a little bit of what I'm saying is going to be an echo of that last video, right? But I didn't wake up one day and decide these are the 5 lines, right? And I talk about when I move my money, I have a slight different variation on the 1 and the 2, but yeah, moving averages, right? It's not like I'm just like waking up one day and saying, all right, let's do this number. So these 3 especially are almost textbook, right? Like when you learn about moving averages, you almost always see these 3, okay? And when these 3 are this tight from each other, I mean, these 2, the 50 and the 100, are literally a cent or 2 away from each other, right? If I click into it, well, it's actually a little bit more, but whatever, you get it. The 50, the red one, is 803. The average 100 is 811. There's a lot of reason for me to just see a lot of strength right here, okay? Then, hey, it's not that much further under it, but from there we have a nice little cushion right here at 770, right? So, to me, it felt like it was going to be really hard to break these 2 lines. If it happened, we would maybe come down here, all right? One thing I always talk about, and look, again, I kind of started the video with it, like I am not the way I operate is you break some lines and the lines down here do some good stuff, right? With a little bit of green is good, red is bad, kind of like a traffic light, right? So that's my game here. I'm not trying to pretend I'm smarter than anyone or anything like that, but blah, 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 right? There are people that move entire amounts of money. Like there are no lines, there's nothing. All they do is based on the shape of the candle, all right? And for me, the one thing that I take from those traders, right? Because again, I'm not here pretending it's, you know, horse blinders, right? Like I do like learning from others. The doji is a very important candle. Now, I'm a little looser with what I call a doji, but when you have a small body, a little bit of a raise up, a little bit of a raise down, a big raise up, a big raise down, but then end of the day, you just kind of come back to where you started. That's uncertainty. That's the market saying, you know what, I don't know today. Give me a day, let me go sleep on it, let me wake up, we'll decide tomorrow, right? That's uncertainty. You can see it, you can see it, you can see it. I always say the day after the doji is pretty indicative of the truth, and that was huge. That was huge. It was a double digit day. You can see it was a 13.89 on this day. More than anything, it was a gap down below the 20. And we have now officially, I can't say officially just yet. Let me take that back. But we are actually sitting below these two lines, okay? We have not yet confirmed that we've lost these two lines. So what does that mean? Look, I'm here for more than a single day, okay? And yes, I see that we're physically, like that, I see those. But dojis never count, and I need more than one, okay? This one right here, like this line right here, this day ends above it. You can see that this day closes at 995, the number on top, and then the 8 was at 989, right? So we're still over it. Doji doesn't count. This is the first day under the 2, doji. Right now what it's wondering is, look, am I going to use these lines or am I going to kind of shoot back? Because red could be a nice green. You know, I talked about it last time. Green does also turn to red, right? Like that's the other side of the coin, and I'm here hunting the other side, right? But this is a place where we could bounce up. I don't know. Even if we bounce up on Monday, let's say Monday we decide to like start creeping up, I don't know if we're going to get over 913. I think this is going to start to become a really hard wall, especially since it basically looks like the 8 and the 20 are going to meet there on Monday, right? Like, I don't know the math behind the lines, right? But that thing has that kind of slope, and that thing is pretty much straight. So it makes sense to me, right? So I think these two are going to start to be a little hard to get over. I think we might bounce and go, hey, again, we might keep going, but I'm not liking this down here. I think that's starting to become my problem, okay? And as I zoom out, this is a low point right here. So this RSI was 21. You can see that a little close to the middle right there, right? We're still at 36. That to me is kind of saying we actually might lose 8 and we actually might be coming down to 770, maybe 783. Hopefully 780 is kind of the lowest this goes. Again, hopefully MACD is still positive, right? But that's bad diversion. Like this is red over green. I don't like that. I like them when they're both green over red and they both kind of keep climbing like that, right? So this is a little scary. This is obviously not great right here, right? There's now an accumulation of selling starting to go down, right? Like this buying was consistent, couple peaks, right? I don't know if that selling is going to start. I don't know. You know, like it's just, I was real confident we were going to hold 820. I did not imagine we were going to get that 13% negative single day. That's a simple one to say. I for sure didn't think that. And then again, I think these last 2 days just kind of echo it. Like this is an important. And then where is this actually from? Let me just kind of zoom out a little bit and see it a little bit more. Is there any more earlier? Yeah, there's a lot going on that line. Look, this right here. It's this peak. It's that bottom right there. It was a silly wick right there. Bottom of that, top of that, breakout there. Like this is an important line right here. This is an important line. You know, I generally say I care way more about the moving averages because I'm just a regular guy. Like I'm not here drawing for perfection, right? But that's an important line. And I think the 770 seems a lot more realistic than 920. I'll at least, I think, end the daily on that right there. Where are we on the weekly? That's a rough weekly. Because again, there are no more moving averages above us, right? Break them all and fly is what this thing was setting up to do. This was a rough week. Obviously, it was a 17% total, with most of it coming on this single almost 14% day, right? So, yeah, good things happen over the 8 and the 20 when you slip under them. Green, red, man. Hopefully, we can turn this red into that green. I was talking about 913. Just, it seems like that's going to be a hard line to break. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Let me know if I missed anything. Otherwise, let's come into SOUNDHOUND, and this is starting to get scary, all right? Now, you know I am not here to be a fanboy, right? I know a lot of people watch this. I know no one really wants to hear some guy say bad things about a stock you like, right? Believe me, I used to ignore those a lot back in the day, but I would rather hear the scary before, I'm slapped in the face with it by the realities of it happening, right? So just thoughts and opinions, you know that, right? I'm not even going to start here. I'm going to just start down here, all right? Our MACD has now slipped back into the negative. Our MACD, as you zoom in, I mean, that's divergence right there. Divergence just means the two lines are going away from each other. I don't think these are parallel. I think the green line is going further away from the red, and that's bad divergence. That's not what I want to see. I want to see the other way around, where the green is diverging above, right? So that's RSI is echoing it. I'm seeing that same peaking divergence now starting to form here. They both basically are saying red line over green line instead of other way around. I don't like that, all right? I know 30 is relatively low. Just this one right here was an RSI reading of 23. You can see that right there. And zooming out just even a little bit further back, the RSI got as low as 13, all right? Do I think we're gonna come back to an RSI down here? I don't know. We've been here for a bit. I can even raise it a little bit and call it 27, right? But that's still like 33% lower, right? Going down another 10, right? Just kind of rough numbers. So I'm starting to worry that, I mean, I think this is the line. I think 190 is an easy open on Monday. Okay, because again, where are we now? We're obviously, it happened on, what day was this? Wednesday, and it didn't confirm, right? So we care more than a single day. We care about things confirming, right? But we are closing the week under all 5 moving averages. The 200's right there, and we're clearly peaking under the 4. Under all 5 and die is part of the rhyme, and the real issue is this is essentially a green to a red, right? Like, we're accounting for this little horizontal and maybe this and this, like that is why that line's here, but that fast up could be a bad down almost as low as I think this 166, 167 line, all right? So this is looking scary, and more than anything, NASDAQ's not doing well. All right, like NASDAQ is under the 8, it's under the 20. It's basically coming to this little horizontal. Why? Green turns into red. Even for the NASDAQ $14,000 a share stocks, right? Like, this silly little pattern doesn't care how many decimals are in it, whether it's 1, whether it's not even a single whole number, right? Like, the rhyme is the rhyme, baby. You know what I mean? So NASDAQ's not doing well. NASDAQ has that bad divergence. NASDAQ was as low as a 28 RSI. We're only at a 41, right? Obviously, we were even lower at a 22 RSI right here, right? So I'm kind of hoping this is the line that basically holds this 29, 28. We're at 41, right? So I'm not sure this is done yet, you know, and this is obviously more about SOUNDHOUND, but you know my thoughts. SOUNDHOUND is still a prove it to me tech stock, right? Like, I haven't seen the big, like, drop the mic if you're a Chris Rock fan at the end of the stand-up that just crushed it, right? Like, they haven't dropped the mic on me just yet, right? And that is a SOUNDHOUND pun for sure. But yes, I'm still a believer that the NASDAQ's going to carry this a lot more than maybe it's deserving, right? Like, I'm not even here saying it deserves to be, but if NASDAQ goes down, I think this green will accelerate. 190 is the first one. Obviously, we have 184 after that. Hopefully, 190 can hold it. But yeah, maybe it'll just be a kind of a, because it's red, green, red. Like, there's fast ups and downs. I don't know if that little thing is enough. And then yeah, hopefully this catches it. Otherwise, yeah, this 150 line we already have drawn, right? So let's not talk about after 115. That's silly. We're still far up here. That would be a big move, and you know I'm going to be covering that regardless if this thing goes up and down, right? I do like covering this stock. So our money line is 218. I even would like it a little bit higher, around 220, give or take. And hey, lo and behold, you remember us talking a lot about that 220 line right around here, right? So like that thing is kind of peeking back, but now it's almost on the opposite side, right? We were trying to break it at one point, now we're trying to recover to it, right? That on its own leads me back to, look, we might just simply be oscillating on the hundreds still, like we have been, right? Oscillating, just a fancy word for up and down, right? But going up, going down, going up, didn't quite go down, went down now, right? And lo and behold, this thing's kind of horizontal. Hey, I'll take horizontal for the moment, right? Like that is also what happened here before it started accelerating down again, right? So we got to make the move out, and hey, let's use this 50 to get us out, all right? Let's not use this 50 to make it the fall down and die line, all right? And then just to show it, because obviously it's literally in the sector, it's well worth showing it, right? But Palantir, before these days, it had a very tight cluster of all the lines, okay? And it would go up, it would go down, it would fly above, it would go all the way down, it would fly above, not as high, but you get it, would fall again. Like, those are scary falls. Lo and behold, it runs, right? So sound isn't quite in all five, that's a tight 4. And that same up and down tornado could be happening. But yeah, scary MACD, not liking the RSI, volume, man, volume, volume, volume. You can just see it. You can just see it all the way till here. Like, that was the good little moment of volume, and that was our good little up. Ever since then, I'm glad we're at least staying horizontal, right? So maybe it is just a solid oscillation of that line, right? But don't lose all the moving averages. That's a very important thing. Hopefully we don't talk about that. And look, hopefully I'm even being silly considering this, because look, we only go to here and then maybe oscillate back up, right? So Soundhound, I don't think I've seen any earnings dates flashed. Let me know if anything like that is coming up and something you should be aware about. Otherwise, yeah, appreciate your time. You know that. Let me know even if you disagree, right? ENZC. So look, I don't say this on a lot of stocks. I will say it on this one. I am not here to spread fear. Obviously, it's been a bunch of really good days, so this is going to be a relatively good video, right? But I am not here to be a fanboy and pump. Just because I see this, I'm not all of a sudden having these big dreams up here, right? Like I am for sure neither extreme, okay? The one thing that very much jumps out to me is this line right here. All right. I know I went into depth on it on the last time I covered it. All right. I think we were still kind of up here the last time I covered. I really am honestly not too sure. But lo and behold, we made our way all the way down. All right. Lo and behold, the RSI. Look at this thing. I'll be honest, I really don't know what this chart was doing, right? This was a viewer request. I kind of obviously wish I saw it a little bit earlier. I might have even written this up. But look, our RSI got as low as 4.5. You can kind of see that in the the third box towards the middle. From there, it went down to stayed 4.5. Yeah, that was the lowest, it looks like. But man, I mean, it was low, right? On this one, it was 10. It actually went even lower than our last lowest, right? So that was rough, but a lot of technicals saved this thing, all right? The low RSI reset itself back up, right? Volume started to pick up, but really, to me, I'm telling you, go back and watch the last. I never say go back and watch the last video, by the way, but go back and watch it because it's more details. But this line saved it, and why did I care so much about that line? All right, look, I'll at least give a quick little flash about it. Come on. Okay, I never want to see dashes on a chart, especially a daily chart, let alone an hourly, a 15-minute one. Dashes are bad. If I click on a dash, you can see the volume here towards the bottom, VOL in red, is 0.0. Like on this entire day, no one traded anything. On this entire, look, nothing's even happened. There's not even a dash registering. Jeez. On this day, 0.00. On the candle day that comes, it was, okay, that was a big one. I shouldn't have clicked there. Right here, another zero. Just a whole mess of zeros, right? As we start to move, we start to get a little bit more of a barcode thing, a little bit less dashes. And then as we start to move, we start to get into the more familiar, normal, real candles, okay? That 0099 line was the first real moment, in my opinion, right? And hopefully you kind of see it, right? That's still happening. That's still happening. Maybe it's trying to form. This was kind of the first stabilization before obviously that beautiful run right there, right? But like this is the first established support. All right, this run up was good. This little bottom right here, you can argue that this is probably the next line down. I'm glad I never had to draw it, right? But I guess since we're here, we'll draw that just because it goes with the explanation. But yeah, this is our first real moment of support, just a good little horizontal, lasted about 2 months, and then we went, right? Lo and behold, that same 0.009 is what saved us. All right. If we lost that line, horrible things would have happened. The fact that we did this makes a lot of technical sense. Again, we went from a 4 RSI all the way up to the 60. Look, there's still real nice divergence. There's still real nice divergence. Just means the lines are going away from each other. And I like green over red on both. You know what I mean? Volumes actually, look, it is, yes, going down like that, but I'm okay with that in a lot of different ways. And this is still like the story now is what's going to happen with this 50 moving average. All right. The important thing to realize is, look, we've never, like, I shouldn't say never, but we haven't closed over it since here, since September of last year. It's been quite a while since we've even touched it. We actually don't even touch it right here. You can see that this got as high as the third line, 0.02200. The average 50 was actually at 0.02222, right? You can see the gap right there. We have not touched that 50. So it's no guarantee that we're going to do it. The 50 is a hard line. The 50 is the first of the 3 monsters, you know what I mean? But there's some nice spacing here. There really is, you know, and it looks like there's a chance we might take the 50 and go to the 100. Because again, I like that divergence. I like that. 64 is still actually low. Oops, I didn't mean to zoom in there. What I wanted to do was zoom out. I was going to say, look, we've actually been as high as 75 not too long ago. We were actually living in this 65, 67, 60, like it knows how to be in the 60s. The problem is it also knows how to lose the 60s and go back to the lows, come back up a lot and then come back to the lows. We don't want that, right? We want this to keep going up. And you know, it's got a shot. Red. Good support. Green. Makes a lot of sense to me. Again, I think this is the line still, right? Because I imagine if I zoom out, there's probably another little read. Let me zoom. I want to see what this line is. Oh, it's not even the bottom of that. Oops. Hold on. This one. Oh, it looks like there's something going on, but that's really old. Is it though? It's 2020. All right, it's not crazy old. We'll keep the line. It's fine. I think this might be a little difficult to break. 027. I'm going to round it up a little bit too, but I think that might be difficult to break. And lo and behold, I mean, the 100 moving average, that's probably too steep a line. It's probably doing something like that right there. So, again, I like the setup. I'm liking the indicators here. Don't underestimate the 50, all right? Hey, appreciate your time. Thank you so much.